Hey everyone, Action here. Today we'll be starting out our new playthrough. This time we're playing out a pacifist empire for our first time, and not only are we gonna be a pacifist, but we're also gonna be inward perfectionist. So basically not having interaction with anyone else in the galaxy, just focusing on ourselves and improving our empire. Obviously we're gonna go for the Ascension following the purity path. This way we're gonna have the most perfect beings in the whole galaxy. As you know, our empire is very close to the Fallen Empire that shows up in some Fallen Empire event, and that is because we are a lost colony. We somehow got lost from our previous civilization, our Fallen Empire, and we are now trying to rebuild ourselves as a new civilization. So starting off with our civics, we're gonna have the inward perfection, which is gonna block basically all relations with other empires and also block the Minister of State Council position. So we will start off with 2 admirals in the council, not 1. This is gonna increase a little bit of our naval power in the early game if we manage to have the correct traits. However, this is not the main part about the civic. The main part is that we'll get plus 20% unity from the start of the game, plus 10% pop growth speed, plus 50 edict fun, so we can basically launch any type of edicts right at the start of the game, on top of a little bit of happiness and some changes to encryption, decryption, which is irrelevant to be honest. But the monthly unity and pop growth is actually gonna synchronize very well with our effects. With that, we're gonna have the spiritualist giving us plus 10% monthly unity on top of reducing the edict upkeep and cost, which is gonna again scale up with our edicts fund from the civic. We're also gonna have the xenophobic reducing the star-based influence cost, making ourselves capable of expanding faster and also increasing our pop growth or assembly speed, which is fantastic since we also have that same bonus from our civic. Our second civic is going to be the Byzantine bureaucracy, which is going to increase our unity per bureaucrats and stability from them as well, since in the beginning of the game we'll rush unity to ascend as quickly as possible. This in combination with all of the monthly unity bonuses that we are getting from our civics, it is probably going to scale the parliamentary system civic, which I know everyone is rushing it because it's very OP civic to have, the best civic for unity in the early game. We're obviously gonna be pacifist. This will block out the unrestricted wars policy. However, we'll also have a very good bonus of minus 15% empire size from pops and a little bit of stability. So for our authority, we're gonna have the Imperial one for solely the fact that we'll have plus 10% resources from jobs. Later on, ideally you wanna change this for an oligarchic government after we purely ascend, and you're gonna see how that is strong. So if you combine the Imperial Authority with our origin, Lost Colony, that actually give us plus 15% resources from jobs, we will start the game right away with a plus 25% resources from jobs, which is tremendously powerful, and that is without even accounting for the planetary capital designation, which gives us another 10%. So our home system in the beginning of the game is gonna be completely broken, and that is our main advantage to scale up all of our resource production and make a very quick ascension. For that to happen, we will have the intelligent trait, which is the best trait in the game at the moment, paired with adaptive, because with the Lost Colony you don't have perfect habitability in our home world, so this perk right here is gonna have us at the perfect amount of 100%. We're also gonna be traditional, so we'll have a little bit more unity from our bureaucrat jobs. So everything here, you can pretty much see the theme. We are gonna increase our resources from jobs in our capital system and also increase our unity as much as possible, paired with some increases to our pop growth. This is basically the early game of our empire, very good, very focused, and everything is paired together just nicely. Our ruler is gonna have the spark of genius and is gonna be a scientist, so at least we don't fall off on technology that much. High Command calls out for 5,000 commanders to replenish our ranks after the recent losses. Our navy needs you, Commander, to help us fight the countless enemies that threatens our own existence. Enlist today and be a part of something greater. So this is gonna be our settings for this game. We are gonna be playing in a huge galaxy, 1000 stars. Hopefully it won't lag that much. We'll also be facing all the crises at 25 times the regular strength, which is the highest we can get. And we're also gonna have just the regular tech cost, tradition cost, difficulty adjusted technology costs is set to normal. That is very important for the repeatables. The habitable world set to rare, so it doesn't lag up. The pre-FTL is also lower. Precursors, we just picked the precursors that are most powerful with our empire. And just removed all the void worms and cutaloids, since who like these guys anyways? So let's get into it. So we already start the game with a massive amount of unity, plus 53 per month, kinda insane. Let's do some little bit of management in our empire. First we pick up all the technologies regarding the economy and also everything that boosts up our unity production. Then we set up our science ship to explore. Thankfully we already have a very good world nearby, desert world. However, our habitability is set to tropical world, so this is not one of our guaranteed habitables, which is very good because later on we can colonize it after we have the terraforming technology. We'll send out our corvette fleet to scout, and since we have an extra commander, we can just split up this fleet and have both commanders scouting our galaxy. We are also gonna start off by building our first colony ship right away using the Venet species, and we also set up some monthly trades to buy more minerals. What? No way, we already found a fallen empire? What is this, man? Just one day into the game. This gotta be the quickest first contact ever. Now, since we have a very high edicts fund, we can activate basically all of our edicts, and we are still very comfortably below the edicts fund limit. Since we are Imperial, we also got a very good heir, another scientist with the Spark of Genius trait. This way we can actually replace our current head of research, which has a kinda useless trait in the beginning of the game. This way we already have plus 6%. Here in our capital world, we'll start off by building up an autochthon monument to increase our unity production even further. Oh, there is no way, man. What is this start? Perhaps it's the best start in the game. We already found a ruined matter decompressor. You gotta be kidding me, right? That's fantastic. Holy. And let's pick our first tradition. We are gonna start off with expansion. The reason is very simple. We wanna expand, obviously. That's definitely gonna help us out. Later on, it also reduced the empire size from planets, which is tremendously good. Basically means an improve to your unity and research output. And later on, we'll also have the finish effect of increasing our districts by +1. And as you may know, districts now are your most important source of jobs, not buildings anymore, so maximizing the amount of districts you can have is always nice. So by using our corvette scouting fleet, we already found our first habitable world on Sirius 3, fantastic. We just now need to keep exploring to find the second one. And we already found it on Alpha Centauri using our second scouting fleet. That's the importance of scouting using our corvettes. It really speeds up the exploration. After we build up our first colony ship, we'll build another science ship so we can have a job for our heir, because he's currently just sitting around doing nothing. Now that we have built our autochthon monument, all of our civilians will produce a little bit more of unity, so what we can do is just remove the blocker sprawling slums. This will give us another 100 pops, which are basically gonna be civilians. With that, we are already producing 100 unity at year 1 without even having the parliamentary system. So in just 6 months we will have another tradition unlocked, which is tremendously powerful. After we finished removing the blocker, what we can do is actually improve our alloy production, since we definitely need to have more alloys to build more colonies and also star bases. We launched the Infinite Opportunities agenda, and as for our second agenda, what you're gonna have is the Evolving Society, so we can have more unity in the start of the game. I know that expand the council is usually the way to go, however, right now we don't have much use for another counselor. We much rather have the extra unity. And we already found the Vlur just going around with some space whales. I wonder what they are talking about. Perhaps some gossips about the galactic stage. So right now we have no need to finish up the expansion tradition because we are under our empire size, and the other ascension perks that we can pick at the moment are not gonna help out our economy in any single way. So we might just well start our next tradition, which is gonna be statecraft. We can finally start colonizing Sirius 3, but we are obviously gonna rename it to something better. What about Kartox? That seems like a cool name to have. And since we have such a massive amount of Unity production, already at 130 basically, all of our events scales off with our production. So we gain an extra 860, fantastic. And look at our progress towards our traditions. It's only 4 years into the game, man. Here on our capital world, we already filled up all of our archive zone. However, we definitely need to increase our tech production, because currently we are taking so long to finish each of our research. Building a research lab right away, it's definitely gonna help us a lot. We finished up building one research lab, let's start building another one, because it definitely helped out our research. We finished establishing the colony here on Kartox. Let's start colonizing Alpha Centauri 2nd, which is gonna be called Two Suns. Just like that. No connection to actually having two suns right away and another one very far away. Our governor on Vlora got the unifier trait, that's amazing. Basically improving our unity a little bit further. Right now, all of our priests are already producing 99 unity out of a base of 31. So yeah, just look at how insane it is. It is actually more than 3 times the regular production. Amazing. We finished up our first tradition, expansion, and now we shall grab our first Ascension perk. We are first gonna grab the Imperial Prerogative. I know, I may sound insane. Technological ascendancy is the go-to in most cases. However, I'm thinking about the long run, my friends. We only have 8 Ascension perk picks, and I already have everything planned for the other slots. So the Imperial Prerogative is gonna reduce our empire size from planets by minus 50% and actually improve the amount of officials we can have, which later on is definitely gonna help us out in both our empire sprawl and also in our empire productivity. So very good pick to have nonetheless. 10% research speed is definitely gonna fade away when we have something like a plus 200 research speed, right? Because the marginal effects are definitely gonna be low. We already found another empire here, this time a Necroid one, very much like the Necrons from Warhammer, what? They are so similar. On the Ovolus system, it's interesting their choice, precinct houses, so perhaps an authoritarian empire, I guess? Yeah. Precisely. Just look at their effects. Another fallen empire near us. What? 2 fallen empires, the closest ones to it. That is the perfect isolationist run. Hello Commander, if you're enjoying my content, please consider being a part of our higher ranks and financially supporting the growth of our navy. Depending on your contribution, you'll have access to different sections of our military, being able to command an entire fleet and up to a whole sector in our live streams. That will happen almost every weekend. With every contribution, the Empire grows stronger and you, Commander, will help us shape the future of our universe. Our precursors are gonna be the First League. Well, that's gonna be actually quite useful since they have a relic world in their home system, and a relic world can be restored to an Ecomonopolis later on. Regarding our expansion efforts, ideally we wanna go up until the Alcor system, or at least one system above, because with this we'll have control of all of these regions in the galaxy that has 2 habitable planets, one size 25 even, on top of a nebula, which is fantastic. And here on this side we wanna have control over this portion here, which is pretty much guaranteed for us, and also establish some choke points in key sections, such as this one, after we have enough military power to take on these little pumpkin heads. Oh, Precursor Cache from the Mechazuran, plus 25% researches from jobs by 10 years. Why are you liking us so much, man? We are xenophobic, after all. But okay, I appreciate it. Cool machines, perhaps we won't destroy them in the future. We already finished our second tradition only 10 years into the game, and as our second Ascension perk, we are gonna have the Mastery of Nature. Action, you are crazy! Yes, my friend, I'm building up for the late game here, and the maximum district size is definitely gonna help us out a lot. After we launch the Evolved Society, we will now have massive amounts of unity production, and we should comfortably pick the Expanded Council as our next agenda. As for our third tradition, we are gonna pick Domination. This way we will have some bonuses for our early game expansion regarding the influence, and also the starting level for our officials later on, even having more Councilry XP gain, and the main benefits here are gonna be the extra resources from worker pops, the agenda, which is gonna increase the worker pop efficiency even further, and also the empire size from pops reduction. So after we pick this, we finish this ascension and grab the Biomorphosis Ascension perk so we can ascend as our fourth tradition. But that's gonna be it for today's video, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, if you did, don't forget to leave that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.